leave insert section C1 question, and the information is as follows. So A, B and C are at what? 50, is it? 60? Thank you. This is at 60 here as well, and that's at 60 because it's all a level road, so the whole thing is at the same level. Cut ratio, guys, is what? 1:2, thank you. I remember that actually now. And fill is 1:1.5, isn't it? Yeah. Fill equals 1:1.5. Now, also in the question, I'm just going to do this at the over here at the bottom. C to D goes downhill at a rate of what? 1:15, is it? No. 1:10. Yeah? Oh, sorry, 20. Sorry, do it again. Thanks. 1:20. Sorry, I forgot that. Yeah, that's right. 1:20. Which means that if I travel along the road 20 meters, I've gone down by 1 meter. So, that's all the information I really need for now. I'm going to do this section of the road here, which is the straight section of the road, or sorry, the level section of the road. And I know my map is at, or my level of my road is at 60. So wherever the 60 contour hits the 60, the edge of the road at 60, I'm going to put in a little mark. And then either side of that mark, I'm going to decide whether it's a cut or a fill. Fill, I'm going to go in red pen, and cut, I'm going to go in blue pen. So these contours here to the right of that dot are all lower, so therefore that's going to be a fill activity over here on this side. And this is going to be a cut activity on this side. Okay. And my spacings then for this question, for fill is 1:1.5. My contours are in 5s. So therefore, multiply that by 5 equals 5:7.5. My cut, multiply that by 5, 5:10. So from the edge of the road here, for my fill activity, I'm going to go in 7.5s. So 7.5, 15, 22.5, 30. Generally that's enough. Sometimes I might need a bit more. As I get further out from the road, guys, you're getting lower down. So that's going to be my 55, 50, 45, and 40. So where did those red lines with numbers match the same numbers on the contours? There's one, there's the other, there's the last one. So that is my fill activity done, and you can colour that in red if you wish. Fill activity completed there. The next thing then is the cut activity, and for this then I've already worked out my spacings are 10s. Okay, so now why am I drawing this perpendicular line? The reason I'm drawing that perpendicular line, guys, is for my measurements for my straight section into the curved section. Okay, so I'm going to do all my measurements on this. Sorry, you're okay.
Could I borrow just 2 boys for like 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Strong boys.
Whoever you want. Work away.
Always and
Eduardo.
I don't know your name.
Eduardo.
Eduardo. Sorry.
Yeah.
I see you the piano with the car. It'll be literally 1 minute. Just
Perfect. No, they're okay. They're all right.
Thank you. Boys. Girls, sorry.
Okay, so this is a cut activity. So as you're getting further away from the road, guys, you're generally going higher and higher. So that's going to be a 65, 70, 75, 80. Now, the reason I've drawn that perpendicular line is because now I don't have to measure a second time to set up my curve sections. I just use these points for creating my curves that are the same height reference. They're on the same horizontal plane. Bring them around, and I'll join C to C, or C to O, which is my perpendicular element. And then after this is to do with slope and section, so I'm not going to touch that for now, okay? So again, now we fill in our dots. And so where does 65 hit the 65 contour? Hits it there. Where does 70 hit 70? There. 75 hits 75 there. 80 hits 80 there. Now I have to go further than this because... No, I don't, because there's no contour more than 75. Now, I'm just going to use my sliding set squares. So the 80 is here, so that's 65, 70, 75, 80. This contour here is 75 again. So that'll come back down to there. Then 70. Then 65 and 65. Back up to 70. So for your map, guys, this is what it will look like. Something similar to that. And the colour of this, I'm just going to colour in, I suppose I might as well match my pen colours. So this blue turquoise section is the cut activity. Is it okay for that, guys? Yeah? Okay. So for the arc here for this, so now I'm doing the sloping road. It's this gradient and it's going downhill. Alright? So I measured from C here to E, new point, 100 millimeters. So what I've done basically is multiply that by 5. So it's 5 is to 100, which means I've gone down by 5 meters. That's why E is at 55. So there's a 5 meter height difference between the two of them. And so therefore, my fill arc is going to be 7.5. So because the height difference, guys, between the 2 points is 5, we apply that to the fill ratio, your arc is going to be 7.5. The height difference between these 2 points is 5, you apply that to the cut ratio, which is 1.2, therefore your cut arc ends up being 10 millimeters. So once I know the sizes of the radius of the arcs, I can then put in the strategy to apply them to the map. Now, you cut at the butt and you fill at the hill. So I have my arc sizes, I just need to know where to put them. So cut at the butt, that's the lower point here. So therefore the arc that's here at this lower point will be a 10, and then the arc at the higher point will be a 7.5. I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm slowing that down enough for everybody. So cut at the butt and fill at the hill. So the fill arc is 7.5. It's at the hill, which is the highest location, which is this one here. So therefore the center point there is on C, and then this arc is a 7.5 arc. Now fill is in red, so therefore tangentially to this arc I'm going to join it back to the edge of the road here and create a tangent line that's in red, and I'm going to label that red line straight away. That red line hits this sloping road at 55, so therefore it's a 55 line. Okay, do I have to do the cut arc as well and do cut work? So these contours are 50, 45. At this point is 55, so automatically they're lower than the road, so therefore I am going to have to fill in. And as we come up here to 60, these points are definitely above it. Okay, so therefore I do have to do cut. So you have to do both. You have to do cut and fill. And so what I'll do then is, for this side, I'll step out by 10 millimeters for my cut ratio, my cut arc. I'll draw a 10 millimeter radius arc. Then I'll draw a tangent line between the arc and the edge of the road at C. Edge of the road at C, tangentially to that semicircle, looks like so. That hits the road here at 60, so therefore it's a 60 line. Okay, so now I have both of those done. Now I'll just use my spaces like I did here for my level road. So if I wanted to do the blue spaces first, the blue spaces are 10s, so I can step out in 10s. I could even step in 1 10, and I'll just draw a series of parallel lines to this blue one. So that's 60. The road is sloping, so the road is sloping like this. If you look at the road, that's the way it's sloping. Okay, it's going downhill. Look at your triangle, your set square's going downhill. So anywhere that hits up here, this point where my finger is going to be a higher location than there. So any lines that hit this point are going to be higher numbers than in the opposite end of the spectrum. So this line here is going to be a 65 line. How do I know that? Well, it hits the road. It's going to hit the edge of the road at a higher location. Same for this one. It's a 70. Sorry, I'm just not doing it any justice. And this is a 75. So I'll write on them 65, 70, 75. Put in my dots. So where do those lines meet the corresponding contours? So 75 hits 75 here. 70 hits 70 there, and 75 this way. So it hits here and there, and here, and then back to here, and then to here, and back to there. And this one's 80, so I actually need to go more. Need to step out by more. Set it up to my original line. So that's an 80 line and an 85. So no contours go above 85, so we should be okay with putting in all of our dots. So where does this hit an 80 line? 80 contour hits an 80 contour there. Where does it hit this 85? Doesn't. So it goes back down to 75. 70, 65, 60. And then I need to do one inside this as well, which I have marked but I haven't drawn. That's a 55 line. So where does it hit 55? Hits it there. So that goes like so. Alright, and again this is a cut activity, so I'm going to colour this. I'm just going to colour this in a different colour, guys. I'm going to colour this green just to show you what is actually happening with the cut activity. So the green is the cut activity. You'll notice there's an overlap between the two of them. I think I talked to a few of you about this last week. It's important to have those overlap points so that you get an accurate intersection between the curve, or sorry, between the sloped section and the level section. So now I have to do the fill activity, which means everything's going to go in red. And so your spaces then are in 7.5. So we'll step out by 7.5, 15, 22 and a half, 30, 37 and a half, and we'll step in by 1 as well, which is there. Perfect. So we'll set up our parallel lines. We'll draw our red lines. So that is a 55 line. This is going to be a 50 line. This is going to be a 45 line. This is going to be a 40 line. And it doesn't go down as far as 435. So that is a 60, 55. That would hit a lower point, which means that's 50, 45, 40, and then 35 doesn't happen. So, where do these red lines now hit the corresponding contours? So there, 40 hits 40 here and here. 45, which is a bit too faint, I need to do it again. 45 hits here and here. 50 hits here. 50 needs to be a nice long one because I have plenty of contours that it needs to cross. So 50 hits here and here. And there. 55 crosses 55 there. 60 crosses 60 there. So that's enough because I've intersected with the road. So to join these up, it goes like this. Goes across like that. And then you run out of map. So you're good to go. And again, just a different color. Just going to put this in orange. But this is my fill activity here for your sloping road. So that's the road section of that question done. I hope that makes sense. I hope that everything is visually okay. If there's any questions, please just let me know.